Jason's shocked reaction when Travis confirms he's not retiring because of Taylor's advice on the podcast. On Wednesday, February 19th, the Kelce brothers released a new episode of their podcast. At the beginning of the conversation, Jason excitedly asked Travis, "Hey Travis, how are you feeling after the Super Bowl?" Travis laughed and said, "Oh, of course, the stress reduction is the most noticeable thing." Jason said, "Oh, that's great, and don't forget to exercise a little bit. It will help with maintaining your fitness." Travis said, "Of course, man, it's pretty important. If you forget it, it will make it harder for you to get back into the game." Jason said, "Wow, you're definitely going to play." Travis said, "Oh, definitely. Another trophy, man. I have 2 more years left on my contract and I don't want to waste it." Then both Kelce brothers laughed happily. Jason said, "This has made a lot of our audience interested. Do you think we should celebrate this?" Travis said, "Oh, I'm celebrating this too. Actually, Taylor, she gave me more motivation to continue competing." Jason reacted in surprise and exclaimed, "OMG, so you compete because of her?" Travis said, "Not really, bro. It's more of a piece of advice." Jason said, "Great. That's a sincere and true piece of advice." Travis said, "Oh, thank you." Jason said, "Hey, Travis, after the Super Bowl ended, what's new this past week? Like a vacation on Valentine's Day?" Travis laughed and said, "Oh, of course. Bro, we just had a memorable trip." Jason shouted with a blank face and said, "What? We're here? Does that mean you and Taylor had a vacation together?" Travis looked sheepish and said, "Oh yeah, we just went on a hot air balloon ride." Travis laughed and shook his head as if he couldn't believe it either. Jason chuckled, "What the hell, Travis? One of the toughest players in the NFL floating in a wicker basket?" Travis shrugged and said, "Don't laugh. I wasn't sure at first, but Taylor was really excited, and honestly, seeing the excitement in Taylor's eyes, I couldn't say no." Jason frowned with amusement. "Really? And how did it go?" "Don't tell me you're afraid of heights." Travis laughed bitterly. "Well, not scared, just a little nervous. As the balloon lifted off, my heart was beating faster than it had on the football field. But Taylor was completely relaxed, standing right next to me, and I was just holding on to the basket because the air was making me a little dizzy." Jason laughed. "Wow, that's a sight I never thought I'd see. A scared Travis Kelce." Travis laughed and said, "Come on, I'm not scared. It's just not used to it. But I have to admit, once I started to relax, the view from above was amazing. Everything looked like a painting. Golden fields, a lake reflecting the blue sky, and little houses that looked like toys." Jason nodded. "Sounds good. But most importantly, was it romantic?" Travis leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms over his chest. "Come on, man. It was a surprisingly quiet outing. Taylor even sang a part of Cruel Summer while looking down. At the scenery below, I swear it was like a movie scene." Jason laughed, shaking his head. "A movie? You're in a fairy tale, bro." Travis chuckled, his eyes distant. "Yeah, maybe, and I don't mind." Jason said, "Congrats, dude. But next time Taylor asks you to go to the high school dance, I want to see how you say no." Travis said, "Oh, that's great because I've done that a lot." Jason said, "You guys had a memorable Valentine's Day together anyway." And then the two Kelce brothers laughed happily. For years, Travis Kelce has been known for his larger-than-life personality, both on and off the field. The Kansas City Chiefs star has built a reputation not just as one of the NFL's most dominant tight ends, but also as a charismatic, fun-loving figure whose energy never seems to fade. However, according to those closest to him, something has shifted. Jason Kelce, never one to hold back when discussing his younger brother, recently opened up about a dramatic transformation he's noticed in Travis. While appearing on a podcast this week, the retired Eagles center admitted that his brother is evolving in ways he never expected, and the driving force behind it? Jason suggests it's all because of one particular influence. He recalled a time when Travis embraced a more carefree lifestyle. "He was kind of like Peter Pan and the Lost Boys," Jason remarked. "But these days, the dynamic is changing." "It's been staggering, honestly," he admitted. "The difference has been so apparent that even former NFL quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was part of the conversation, observed how much Travis seemed to have matured when he recently spent time with him." Fitzpatrick even joked that before, Travis didn't even have a couch in his house. Jason didn't directly state the reason for the shift, but he made it clear that someone significant has played a role. "I think sometimes you get people in your life that maybe get that out of you," he said. Of course, the biggest change in Travis's personal life over the past 2 years has been his relationship with global superstar Taylor Swift. The two have been under a constant spotlight since going public, with many speculating about how the romance has impacted the NFL star. Despite all the outside attention, Jason suggests that the transformation has been a positive one. While he reassured fans that Travis still has the same youthful enthusiasm he's always had, he made it clear his little brother isn't the same guy he was before Swift entered his life. As for what's next, that remains uncertain. Travis has hinted at the possibility of retirement following his latest Super Bowl victory. If he does step away, it wouldn't just mark the end of an era for the Chiefs. It would also signal a major transition for a player who appears to be evolving, both on and off the field. The happy couple has shared plenty of stories in their year-plus of dating, including Travis's past mistakes that involve the Big Easy. That includes a 2010 suspension from the Cincinnati Bearcats football team after a positive test for marijuana. Cincinnati was in New Orleans to face the Florida Gators in the Sugar Bowl. The Bearcats were 12-0 heading into the matchup, and Kelce was forced to not play after the NCAA performed drug tests. "History seemingly will not repeat itself," Travis once said. "Take me back to my old New Orleans home. I owe New Orleans a little something," Kelce said to Swift and his mother, Donna Kelce, on the field at Arrowhead Stadium after securing a place in the Super Bowl. "Yeah, I won't be having as much fun that night," Travis replied. Kelce also stated he would not be having any hand grenades while in New Orleans. The drink, made of vodka, rum, gin, and melon liqueur, is designed to intoxicate quickly due to the mix of liquors. Kelce has spoken out about his failed drug test since the incident 15 years ago, later crediting older brother Jason Kelce for getting him straight when he considered giving up football after the suspension. "I was down in New Orleans listening to Lil Wayne, and I wanted to smoke what he was smoking," Kelce told Vanity Fair in 2023. "I'm just sitting there dead in the water. I just wanted to get out of there. I was so embarrassed I didn't want to look at anybody." Safe to say, things have worked out well for Kelce, who could play in his last career game at the stadium where he was held out of one of the biggest games in Bearcats history. Swift is expected to be at the Super Bowl in a luxury suite more than 3 months after she sold out the Caesars Superdome multiple times on her Eras tour. After spending the last 5.5 months in the spotlight, while his Kansas City Chiefs chased their 3rd straight Super Bowl championship and a shot at NFL history, Travis Kelce is reportedly planning to lay low for the next couple of weeks. Kelce is facing arguably the 2 biggest decisions of his life this offseason: whether to retire or come back for his 13th NFL season, and when to propose to longtime girlfriend Taylor Swift. Fans know roughly when to expect Kelce to make the first decision, as the Chiefs gave the Pro Bowl pass catcher a hard deadline of March 14th, when his $11.25 million roster bonus kicks in to decide whether or not he will retire. But they're still left in the dark about the second. While many expected Kelce to propose to Swift after the season ended, some even believed he could do it after Super Bowl 59 last weekend. A new report indicates that the 35-year-old NFLer will pop the question on his terms, not everyone else's, and that he plans to spend some quality time with Swift before making any big life decisions. They aren't engaged yet. It wasn't the plan to get engaged right after the Super Bowl, so all these rumors sound very funny to him.